Are we good here? Or you want to go? Good. Griffin, first of all, just team-wise, you've been here now a few months. What do you see in the group that seemingly allows for this type of win to keep happening?
Yeah, I think we're just playing for each other. After the first or second inning, Pete kind of came by me and said that they were going to pick me up. So I think that kind of says it all right there.
What does that mean as a pitcher in that moment when a teammate does that?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good to go out there and put us in a hole right away. So just to know that they kind of had my back and they were going to grind it out against a really good pitcher on the other side. It was really nice to see.
What was a little off for you tonight early on, and how did you grind through and get through the way you did?
Yeah, I think they just kind of had a good approach against me, and were a little bit better than me tonight. They came in with a good approach and executed it well. And obviously the pitch to low in the first inning probably not executed very well, but it felt like Abrams put some good swings on some decent pitches. I thought like the 3-1 slider was below the zone. Fastball was down the way. The changeup was kind of down the way. So I think they just came in with a good plan and just executed it.
What did you think of Juan Soto's play there, the throw?
Yeah, obviously to keep it a 1-run there, just kind of keep us in the game a little bit. He's been doing it all year.
You faced McNeil as an opponent. What makes him difficult at that?
He just doesn't really swing and miss. I think that's a big part of it. He's going to put the ball in play. So if you leave something over the middle or give him what he's looking for, he's going to put a good swing on it.
Exactly what you were looking for coming up there.
I was just looking for anything like a hit to the right side. Wasn't trying to do too much. I feel like they were trying to go maybe hard away, so it was kind of cheating for something out there, and just trying to hook a ball to the right side, and got down.
The last few weeks, or really the last month for you, it's been going well at the plate. Is it just as simple as getting the right pitches for you?
Yeah, getting the right pitches and trying to hit it hard. I'm not trying to guide the ball out there, and I feel like sometimes in big situations I'll just try to guide the ball out there, and that's where I tend to get in a little bit of trouble. So try to get good pitches, put good swings on it, put your A swing on it, and good things been happening.
How long do you feel like you've been in that zone where you're successfully doing that hitting for power as opposed to?
Man, I would say probably it was the second half of last year. I couldn't tell you exactly what series it was, but I remember just trying to get good pitches and try to get the A swing off.
Is it as simple as just swinging hard?
Yeah. It's pretty hard to hit for average in this league. The pitches are so good and so tough that I feel like when you do get a good pitch to hit, you gotta kind of do some damage on it. So that's what I've been trying to do lately, and it's been paying off.
How difficult was that realization? Because you're obviously a guy who's your whole career good at hitting for average. So
it's something that I think I've done in my career before. I think in 2018 when I was in the minor leagues, I had that big power, outburst, and was able to get called up to the big leagues that year. I think, it was there. I was trying to grab the ball. I remember, being in Double A, Triple A, I was trying to get good pitches and hit it hard. And then when I got called up to the big leagues, it was, hitting for pretty high average. And then I think the same thing in 2019 as well. Just trying to grab the ball, and then 22, won a batting title, which was incredible. But then I feel like sometimes I was searching for hits, and I think that can be a little tough when they're not falling, and you just want to kind of be who you are. So I feel like this is kind of who I am, and I'm going to stick with it.
How gratifying is it to be able to make that switch kind of on the fly that you did last year and to have these kinds of results?
It's a lot. The first half of last year is not who I am. It was tough. It was frustrating. It was not very fun, and was able to make adjustments. I think this game is about adjustments, and I feel like I'm the kind of player that can adjust on the fly, do what I need to do, and get the job done.
You've been around for quite a few years with this team. What is it with the resilience that you guys showed last year and this year? Is it just a continuation of what you guys did last season?
Yeah, we're never out of any game, and this is a good group of guys, and we're playing well, and it's just a lot of fun. So we have a lot of confidence in each other, and we're going to keep it going.
Jeff, your first 4 runs tonight were all scored with 2 outs. What makes you guys so effective in those situations? Some big spots there. I think that at bat by Marte was huge, and then Soto was able to drive him in, which is huge, and then Pete, just doing what he does this year. So
we're able to string at bats together, and hits were able to fall. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Juan, Mendy was just talking about how the Marte at bat before you was the at bat of the night, coming back from 0-2 to work the walk. What did you see in that at bat prior to you going up?
That's 12 years veteran taking a bat right there. I think he did a really good job. He stayed on his plan. Everybody wants to come through in that situation, but he stayed patient and give myself and Pete another chance to come through.
What about for you in that spot when you come up and it's an 0-2 count that you double on? What were you able to do and what were you looking for there?
I mean, for me, I just try to hunt the mistakes, I know that guy, he has nasty stuff. I'm just trying to stay locked in my zone, and he misses my zone, and I make the adjustment.
Well, that was a rocky you hit. Were you hoping it was going to get down? Did you think the ball was going to stay up there?
Yeah. I mean, how things are going, definitely I was hoping to go down, but yeah, it did, and I was really glad. I thought the ball was a little farther than it went, but I got it done.
What about that throw? Just how does it feel to make that kind of a throw out at home there, contributing with the arm?
I feel great. I feel like we're going in the right path with my coaches. I feel coach, my pitching coach is great. We've been doing with great teams so far, and I'm happy for that.
When you joke about how things are going, you wanted to get down, but do you feel like now with a couple of good weeks of really good results that luck is starting to change for you?
Yeah, little by little, we just gotta be patient. Keep doing my thing. Definitely, really happy to see the ball landing, and now in some spots and coming through in big moments. So I'm really happy. I'm just gonna try to keep the same way all the way.
The first at bat, the ball landed over the fence. Can you talk about that at bat?
Second at bat.
Second.
Yeah. Just a great swing. Like I said, another mistake. I'm waiting for mistakes. He made a mistake, and I put the ball in play.
Were you and Gord jawing at each other a little bit?
We were saying hi to each other. That's it.
There you are.
Thanks.